Good evening, everybody. Monday morning quarterback, episode 82. Hope you all had a good start to your week. It's Monday night, and the Saints are on, and I'm here. So that's how dedicated I am to CSI and all of our customers, and hoping that we can talk about some good stuff tonight and answer some questions. So we just got through with the Performance Racing Industry Show, or the PRI show. That was last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so we had a great time there. Got to meet a lot of new customers, catch up with some old customers, show off some new products and some things we've been working on the shock side as well as with Pit Logic. Got a lot of good feedback from customers on Pit Logic. And that's one of the ways that we're going to be able to continue to improve the product and add features is by the feedback that we get from you guys. So we certainly appreciate that. Rolled out a really big new feature to Pit Logic this week at PRI, or last week at PRI. We've realized after talking with some consumers over the past year that there were some folks that lost data. Everything is stored on your device, and when they'd go to get a new phone, they would delete the app and not realize that data wasn't going to stay stuck to their Google ID or their Apple ID if they hadn't backed it up to the cloud, which that function was there before. You just had to manually tell it you wanted to back up to the cloud. So we rolled out more of an automated backup. When you log into Pit Logic, it's going to tell you have setups that have not been backed up to the cloud, or maybe you changed a singular thing on a setup, but it'll tell you if you've made any changes to your setup, shocks, anything in Pit Logic. It's going to tell you that and ask if you'd like to back it up. And one touch of the button, it backs it up. So that way it's more streamlined and easier for folks to back it up. The last thing we want is you guys to lose data. So that's a new feature that we rolled out last week for both the iOS and the Android. And so if you have questions about that, let me know. And then we've also kind of started to break down. Kevin was in town. Him and Chance were in town helping us in the booth and talking with customers. So we've kind of started to go through our to-do list and the new features we want to add for 2020. As you guys are aware that have used the app since the release last year, we've added a ton of features. We've over doubled the size of the app, and we have some really cool new things that we're going to continue to add. One of the big ones that's been requested is a team function where you can automatically sync with other members on your team. If you potentially have a couple crew guys, setups can be shared across multiple accounts very seamlessly. You can do that now, but you have to share with a code. So we want to make that more automated. That's a big one that's coming, and some other things that we're working on. So answer any questions we got here. Heath Smith, what does Hud Dog want from Santa? Well, he asked for a junior sprint, but he's not going to get one until he gets a few more years under his belt in quarter midgets. So he likes the dirt. All of his heroes race dirt because those are most of the races we go to. So that's he wants a junior sprint. So what he's going to get, you would have to ask his mom. She's done all the shopping this year. So Eric Evans, nice hat. Yep, I got the game on before we came on, and so when I tuned in for this, we were kicking the Colts' butt pretty good, and Drew Brees will hopefully break the record tonight. So I hate to dash the hopes of our local team here because I think if they won out, they could potentially make the playoffs, but probably not going to happen. And I'm excited to miss a race this weekend. I'm not going to the Dome. We had planned a little short vacation with Maggie and Hudson to go down to Nashville for the Saints game. So they're playing the Titans on Sunday, so we're going down for that. Good evening, Rick and Steve. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to fire away with questions about PRI or Pit Logic and what's coming up. We also unveiled a new four-way adjustable shock that's in the prototype phases, so that's going to be for anything from micros, midgets, and sprint cars. We wanted a affordable shock that we could really adjust high-speed compression, and as we were going through the design feature, it wasn't really going to add any cost to also add high-speed rebounds, so we went that direction. But if you encounter tracks like they did out at Turkey Night, high-speed compression adjustment is going to be a beneficial add, and so we've packaged that in a really nice, attractive shock, and it's still in the prototype phases, but it should be ready for release by summer. We're going to get it on the track here some during indoor season, so that was a cool new release for us. And then just refined some other things. We released that JR4 quarter midget shock late in the summer, and that was a big one for us. So I'm really excited about some of those things and the teams we're working with next year to help continue to refine our product line. So the next races you'll see us at is the Tulsa Shootout shortly after Christmas, and then the Chili Bowl, and then we will go to Daytona to kick off the quarter midget season in February, as well as hit the USAC sprint car race while we're down there. So we're looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys there at those events. Before we go to Florida in February, we'll hit a couple Columbus indoors over in January. That'll be after Chili Bowl. I think there's 2 that we can hit before Daytona. So haven't made it over there yet this year, and that's a place we like to go and help customers. It just never plays out right with going to the West Coast and then PRI and Shootout and Chili Bowl. We seem to miss the early ones of those for sure. So the other thing that we really like to do at PRI is all the schedules come in. So I've got a stack of them on my desk, and that'll be on my agenda here in the next couple weeks to start to outlay where we're going to take our support vehicle this year, and outlay kind of a calendar and determine new markets we want to go to, and then kind of our staples that we hit every year to help customers. So now's the time. If you hear of an event you think we should be at, or you have an event in your area that you'd like to see us travel to with our support vehicle, please let us know, because we are in the planning stages of 2020 and what that travel looks like. I think we hit just over 80 races this year company-wide, so we're on the road quite a bit helping customers, and that's everything from quarter midgets to micros, midgets, and sprint cars. While I'm waiting for a couple questions, I have had some requests about our shock seminar. So we did it on Sunday. It sold out, and we've always get requests to stream it, okay? And I hate to take somebody's money to stream it when we don't really have the infrastructure and we don't really know how to do that. So that's something we're looking into in the future, to potentially stream one of these. We only did one this year because of time constraints with PRI and everything we had going on, and meetings we had scheduled with vendors and things we were doing with Pit Logic. So we just did it on Sunday. If the demand is there, we'll do a quarter midget one in the spring like we did last year, which basically covered all of the setup stuff, how to properly square and set up your quarter midget, how we do our tire program, and how we kind of do our maintenance week to week on a national caliber quarter midget program. So we can do that again this year if there's enough demand. We filled the class last year, but we don't have intention to do another shock seminar here until next winter. We potentially will do one in the spring. We were talking about doing one in Texas last spring, and we just couldn't quite iron out those dates, but maybe that's something we'll look for doing in Texas to try to catch those guys. I know it's hard for people to travel in, and that's why PRI has always been a good one for us. So, Pete, when can you get me to Australia? That's something we've talked about for a long time, and it's just never played out. New Zealand and Australia, so never know. The Australian season seems to coincide with our schedule a little better. New Zealand's tough because it's right over Christmas and then Shootout and Chili Bowl, but Australia, I think there's still some big races after Chili Bowl. So I would love to come to Australia and do a seminar, meet customers, go to races, visit some dealers and all that stuff. So Tim Driscoll hit all the USAC Dirt Nationals. We're going to hit a few of them this year for sure. I don't think we're going to hit them all just because of other things we need to do. This will be the first year in a long time that we don't hit all the or the majority of the USAC Pavement Nationals too. The way the schedule is, and the travel involved. I don't think we'll make it to Portland or Albuquerque, but we'll hit the ones at the start of the year and then kind of see how our schedule lays out. We try to mix up our travel pretty evenly. Selfishly, I want to go to quarter midget races now because Hudson's racing, but we also need to do other things to take care of our customers. So maybe he's going to get his wish and get a junior sprint sooner rather than later so we can go to a bunch of different stuff. Sharply, Saints score again, 17-0. Was it another touchdown by Drew? If it was, that means he's only one away from the record, which is another dagger for Colts fans because Drew Brees potentially is going to break Peyton Manning's career touchdown record, but it's either going to be him or Brady. Does anybody else have questions? Rick Remore, we do plan to go to Texas in October. Whether it's just Trevor that goes or myself as well, not sure yet. We're outlaying that schedule, but that's one we'll go to because we can probably hit a sprint car race while we're there as well. So that trip makes sense to go to that national quarter midget race. And of course, Trevor's always looking for an excuse to go home to Texas. So Joseph, East Coast Dirt Nationals, February 21st and 22nd. I'm going to write that down because we've heard good things about that event. The challenge with it is, I think it's like right when we get home from Florida. So could potentially be a tough one. But I appreciate you mentioning that. I will write it down. We're always looking to go to new events. Last year we did Clay Cup for the first time. That was a really, really good trip. I would love to get back out there next year. We did a trip to Wisconsin. I'd like to do a couple of those. Jake from our shop went to PA Micro Week, so I think we're going to try to get out to Pennsylvania once or twice again. That was really good. And then we did that whole West Coast swing at the end of the year, which was really, really beneficial. So Russ Reed wants to see his boy back in Texas. Bubba's coming back to Texas next week for Christmas, so... but yeah, we like to go to Texas. We got a lot of customers there, and there's a lot of racing in Texas, so that's always a good time. Plus, we get to eat Bush's chicken and drink sweet tea, so we like to go to Texas. Who dat? It's over. 17-0. I'm not going to say it's over, but it's off to a good start. We need to get some wins here to close out the season so we get some home field games in the playoffs. Anybody else have any questions? I want to answer everything before I get out in that snow and drive home and watch the Saints finish this one off. But it's a winter wonderland out there. I don't know what the weather's like where you're at, but we got probably 4 inches of snow yesterday, and I think we're getting a couple more inches right now. So next Monday we'll go live again. We've got a little tech thing we're going to go over next Monday. And then we'll be off for a few weeks, Shootout Chili Bowl. But we're going to try to do some more lives at Shootout and Chili Bowl this year. So, and certainly any topic you want to see us cover, feel free to comment or shoot me a message. We would love to cover topics that you guys are curious about. Christopher Townsend, yes, we are going to the Shootout. We'll have our support trailer there. Should be parked right next to the Factor 1 and the Hoosier Tire trailer like we've been in the last few years. So we'll be there the whole time, a full staff of us trying to win some more drillers. We've been fortunate enough to win 10 of the last 12 in the last 2 years at the Shootout, so hoping to continue that success. That race eluded us for a long time, and now we've had a really good run, so we love going to the Shootout. Kevin, glad you guys made it home. I think John Randall's flight was delayed. I don't know, Russ, if your flight was delayed, but the snow started coming pretty heavy about 6 o'clock yesterday. So, record high in East Tennessee, 73. Well, I'm just hoping it's warm in Nashville on Sunday so my family doesn't freeze watching the Saints game. And really, as long as it's not snowing or raining, it won't bother me. But you guys do have good weather and gorgeous conditions down there. So, all right, we're going to sign off for episode 82. Next week, we've got a tech item coming, so stay tuned for that. And I'm a little behind. I think I got maybe 4 episodes that aren't uploaded to YouTube, but I will get those uploaded this week now that we got a full week in the shop. So friends that don't do social media or Facebook, let them know that they can catch all of these on YouTube as well. And we hope you all have a fantastic week and finish your Christmas shopping. Take care. Have a good night.